community here in Brampton. And they tell me to start organizations and events with Amma, Appa, Vanakkam. That's the formal way, I guess, of starting it off. So I'm seeing a smile from Varsha. So I feel like my thumb is getting the pass right now. I'm getting a thumbs up as well. Feel free, folks, to give me thumbs up. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good job as host as I do these chats with you all. And just looking out to see whenever we're ready to start. But in the time being, this is amazing. I'm always impressed with Neethan's and just in general, the Scarborough community's amazing ability to organize, because we have such a fantastic turnout today. And Neethan, kudos to you and to the entire team for pulling out this amazing and dynamic group of folks to come out today. And it means so much, because I know we all have a little bit of Zoom fatigue from all these Zoom meetings happening all the time. And the fact they're still showing up and coming and being present and sharing time with us means so much to us. So I see we just hit 100 people. So I think we are good to start. Looking at a thumbs up. Yeah, I see the thumbs up. So everyone, once again, thank you all for joining us. This is a fantastic evening, and we're here to launch an amazing campaign of Neethan Shan as the next MPP for Scarborough-Centre. Before we begin, let's start off with a land acknowledgement. It's so important to recognize the land in which we gather. Now, I'm in the Peel region, so my land acknowledgement will be for the region of Peel, but I acknowledge you all. I encourage you all to put into the chat if you're able to, wherever you're calling from and wherever you're able to do a land acknowledgement from. So we'd like to begin by acknowledging the land on which we gather and which the region of Peel operates is part of the treaty lands and treaty the Mississaugas of the Credit. For thousands of years, Indigenous people inhabited and cared for this land and continue to do so today. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, Ojibwe and Chippewa people, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land, and by doing so, give our respect to its first inhabitants. So, like I said, if any of you are in the chat right now, feel free to put in the acknowledgement of where you're from and where you're acknowledging today. It's so important that we start off like that. Now,
recording in progress.
Any further ado, I just want to start off with a few quick notes. The first is, please do not record or broadcast this event today. We will be recording it internally and sharing clips later on. So have no fear about getting clips. They'll be circulated later on. I want to start off by hearing from the community. And one of the speakers to start off is going to be Varsha, my apologies, Varsha Punitelchelvan. And Varsha is an active right now, feel free to in her community. Put in, she's passionate about the Tamil culture and human rights. And I'm so happy to pass it over to Varsha to start off this event. Varsha?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction. My name is Varsha Punitelchelvan, and I am honored and genuinely thrilled to be speaking here with all of you today and offering my utmost support for Neethan Shan to be the next NDP MPP in the riding of Scarborough-Centre. I'd like to extend my warmest greeting to Leader Andrea Horath, MPP Gurrathan Singh, and all the fellow MPPs that are here tonight. And most importantly, I'd like to thank Neethan for offering me this space here tonight. I'd first like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from the lands of the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the New Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, which is now home to many diverse First Nation, Inuit, and Métis peoples. I believe that if you asked Neethan the first time we met, he would probably say it was a couple years ago. However, the first time we actually met was when I was 5 years old. I had just recited a speech in Tamil about the importance of fellow Tamil children embracing our identity. And he actually came up to congratulate me and thank my mom for encouraging me to take opportunities like this. He reminded me that it was never too early to take up space, speak my truth, and push for what needs to be heard. From that moment onward, Neethan has inspired me in many ways, and watching him from the sidelines pushing boundaries to allow communities to take their well-deserved space has motivated me to do the same. And as a full circle moment, here I am with all of you tonight. I had the privilege to work with Neethan at Tamil Canadian Centre for Civic Action, and in those few months, I was able to see Neethan work tirelessly to make everyone feel welcome into our space. He would create innovative and new, unique project ideas and social media campaigns that would highlight and embrace youth, seniors, women, and all folks alike. He'd bridge partnerships with other communities in Toronto and across the world to create panels and workshops for youth and all individuals with intersectional identities to learn about the various communities' history, heritage, and path of advocacy. During the planning process, he would always be sharing experiences of his, which would always serve as mini lessons for us. And most importantly, he'd listen to what we had to say and directly implement that into the planning as we went. Learning of Neethan's legacy, his achievements, and present involvements would always amaze my colleagues and I at how proficient he was at balancing and putting on different hats when necessary. In one moment, he would share an experience as founder of Tamil Civic Action, then in the next as executive director at Urban Alliance Race Relations. He'd talk about challenges he faced bringing forward progressive ventures as former city councillor, such as youth fellowship programs for Black, Muslim, Filipino, and Tamil youth at the City of Toronto, and founding Tamil Heritage Month. If there was one takeaway, though, from all of that, it was his drive to establish equitable opportunities for all individuals and to foster spaces that made sure all members he represented through his platform received a meaningful response for their needs and desires. I look around this virtual room and I see a lot of NDP leaders that are advocates, that recognize the irreplaceable contributions of various communities in Ontario, prioritize equity, work towards abolishing inequalities in our systems, and stand firm in never settling for less. And I know Neethan will continue to uphold these values as he always has. And knowing that Neethan started his career as a youth advocate just like us, and now still young, might I add, is using his platform to value us as the next generation and bring us forward, Neethan exemplifies the type of leader I want to see represent and protect my family at Queen's Park. And so with that, I thank everyone here today for inviting me into this space to share my sentiments. And now I invite all of you, especially my fellow youth, to join me by offering our utmost support to Neethan and envisioning the immeasurable contributions and unparalleled progress I know Neethan Shan will bring to the riding of Scarborough-Centre. Thank you so much.
That was so beautiful, Varsha. That was so moving and so touching. What a beautiful and amazing just speech and just display of Neethan's activity, his commitment to the community. Really, really want to thank you for that. And folks, because in a in-person gathering, we're going to be applauding. So in these virtual spaces, when you want to show that applause, it's all about the jazz fingers. So just throw up the fingers when you love what you're hearing. I'm loving it all. And that was really, really beautiful, Varsha. And I want to thank you once again for that. Up next, we have another amazing speaker. We have Janelle Brady. Janelle has served on the executive board of the Ontario NDP for several years, where she has initiatives for greater access, equity, and social justice for new members. She's a community organizer and a scholar activist who's committed to social change, racial justice, and equity. So without further ado, please, Janelle, join us on this virtual stage.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Garetan, for that introduction. I am so honored to be here today, and I am so grateful for all of the tremendous work that Neethan Shan has done and will continue to do. I know that Neethan will be a voice for us at Queen's Park because he has been a voice in several other capacities throughout his organizing years. Neethan is definitely hands down one of the best organizers that I know. And that's because he's very committed. He's committed to creating change and he never settles for the status quo. That's something that I truly admire about Neethan. Neethan has shown his dedication, his passion, and his heart to the party and to everyone that wants to be part of a progressive and equitable movement. I've seen Neethan pave the way for younger activists at the time, younger activists like myself, to come into party organizing and party politics. I've seen Neethan really sit down and take the time to explain, how does this structure work? You know, something that's so grand and beyond my imagination. Neethan was the person that really took the time to mentor myself and countless other young people, and not only young people, but racialized people, to create those spaces so that our voices can be heard, and that so we can create the change that we would like to see. So I am so thrilled. I am just completely humbled that I was called on to even say anything here today. Neethan is very committed to, I would say, Scarborough, but beyond that, a broader vision and a broader picture for all Ontarians. I know that in the legislature, the issues that Neethan would push for are issues that will impact everyone throughout the province, but also have a ripple effect throughout our nation, in that other provinces will be able to follow suit with his repertoire, with his organizational acumen, with his level of compassion and care and desire for change. So I've seen where Neethan has bridged the gap, because I'm in the Humber River Black Creek riding in the Jane and Finch community. And growing up, often we would make jokes and we would say, you know, we're West Enders and Scarborough's like an East Ending, so we don't really mess with that. But really, Neethan has bridged that gap. He has invited myself and other activists from this community over here to come over to Scarborough to learn about campaigning, to learn about community organizing, to learn about events. I was completely blown away when I was brought into an event that Neethan organized during his tenure as councillor with the Honorable Viola Desmond's sister, right there in the room with each of us for Black History Month. And you could tell that there was a level of care put into this event that often isn't there when organizing Black history events. Often it's a very last minute, it's a very rushed thing, but because of Neethan's compassion and care, he was able to pull this very important event together with a number of community members and stakeholders. And this was back when we actually had in-person events. So thank you for that, Neethan. I also see how Neethan has been committed to social justice change and building a better Ontario. And I know that in Queen's Park, he will build a better community for all of us. We need you at Queen's Park, Neethan. Absolutely, because you've made a difference at every level and every space that you have been in. You've made a difference in the school board. You have made a difference in community organizing. You have made a difference in counseling. As a counselor, my apologies, you've made differences time and time again. And all of us who are here and who keep joining, we are here because we know that you will make a difference in Queen's Park. So thank you so much for putting your name forward and for all the tremendous work that you do and the sacrifices you have made and the work that you will continue to do. I'm truly deeply honored, and I'm so grateful for you, Neethan, fully supporting you and behind you. Thanks so much.
Such an amazing, let's get those jazz fingers up again. So true. What a really amazing, moving, and just really beautifully said speech, Janelle. Really appreciate that. And we're going to see people from across the board coming out right now to support Neethan. We have heard from the community. We've heard from people from the executive. We know we have 2 MPPs currently right now in this Zoom gathering. We have Chris Glover and Tom Rakojevic, both MPPs are here as well. So we just have an amazing turnout here. Our next speaker, I need to take a moment to really just acknowledge the leadership of Andrea Horwath. She has been, this has been such a tough time for our entire province. And we've seen how much we've been left behind by the Ford Conservative government. But having a leader in opposition, the leader of the opposition like Andrea, has really demonstrated to me how powerful we can work and how well we can organize when we have strong leadership. And I consider Andrea not just my leader. I look at her as a friend, as a mentor, and now most importantly, as the next Premier of Ontario. And that's what's going to happen, folks, because of her leadership, the team, and everyone behind her, and amazing future MPPs like Neethan Shan. We're going to come together, elect a really progressive and positive government that's going to make sure that no one's left behind. So without further ado, Andrea, please, with as much honor and dignity I can give you for your amazing work for this entire province and for the amazing work you're going to do for the future of this province, please take the digital stage.
Thanks so much, Gretchen. It's really great and fantastic to be here with all of you. Vanakkam. This launch of Neethan's campaign is what I think we're all so thrilled about. We know the hard work that Neethan has done over the years and the leadership that he has shown on so many fronts. And this launch is about us showing Neethan back how much we appreciate him and how much this campaign in Scarborough-Centre means to us as a growing party, as a growing movement. It really does, I think, indicate clearly that we're in it to win it in a couple months' time, and Neethan will become the next MPP for Scarborough-Centre. And I'm pretty sure there's a vacant seat that Neethan is going to be challenging for, and it's up to all of us to make sure that that the people of Scarborough-Centre get the MPP that they need and that they deserve, someone with the integrity, the energy, the thoughtfulness, the analysis, and the get it done attitude that has been spoken about by the other speakers already. We know that for decades, Liberals and Conservatives have been leaving Scarborough behind. They've been choosing not to make the investments necessary to provide what is needed for the communities of people in Scarborough, for the families of people in Scarborough. They have been choosing not to invest in the families and communities of this province. But of course, Ford came along, Doug Ford, and he's made things worse. We all saw as Doug Ford was cutting before the pandemic hit, and we've watched as he's continued to cut during the pandemic, which is shocking but true. And we all know that he is going to continue to cut after this pandemic is over if we give him the chance. And so our job is to make sure he doesn't get that chance. His cuts have caused so much pain and hurt, and no matter what, he has not wanted to make the investments necessary to blunt this Omicron wave and keep folks safe. He just doesn't want to spend the money. This guy, knows the cost of everything, but the value of nothing. And that's why he is not fit to be the premier of our province, and why our job continues to be that of not only showing Ontarians that that's the situation, but also demonstrating that we can have a government that does those things, that invests in making life better for everyday folks. We saw once again with Omicron the fact that Scarborough was really ground zero for the failures of Doug Ford and his government, and those failures are clear. Whether it's testing, whether it was the vaccine rollouts, it has been really lacking in terms of any focus whatsoever on communities like Scarborough. Scarborough was left behind like other BIPOC communities in our province. Its government has never made the effort to ensure that that racialized folks and that folks in communities like Scarborough were able to get what they needed, what they deserved, and the attention and investments that would keep the families and communities safe. We saw the government, refuse to make the investments in schools to keep them safe, even at this point, as kids are back in school just over the last week or so. Those investments never came. The schools were never made safe. It was driving me crazy. The government kept saying, and the chief medical officer of health really was saying, "Oh, we've done everything we can to make schools safer." That's not true. We all know that's not true. They did everything that they felt like doing. They did everything that they were prepared to spend money on, but they didn't do everything to keep schools safe. And now we're seeing the impact of that. They didn't provide the kind of sense of security and a sense of support for parents in terms of their decision making around schools, and that was just unacceptable. The long-term care system we all saw as the tragedies unfolded. No iron ring ever came to our long-term care system. And, you know, in such a tragic way, we're back in the same spot. Seniors are relegated to be isolated in their rooms. The staffing shortage is massive, and Doug Ford didn't make the investments that he should have made, choose not this last summer, the summer before that, to shore up our long-term care system, because he just really didn't care about what was happening to the most vulnerable in our communities in long-term care. Our hospitals are on their knees. Again, the Ford government always waits to the last minute before they make a decision. They wait until the horse is out of the barn. I don't know if folks know that expression, but they wait until it's too late before they finally act. And when they act, they don't act with enough force to make a difference. And so hospitals are overwhelmed. Small businesses. I made a couple of calls recently with the Taipangal for those who celebrated. I hope everybody has enjoyed the celebration. Small businesses, in Scarborough, telling me how difficult it's been, how tough it's been, because the Ford government didn't want to invest in the kinds of things that would actually help small businesses to survive through the pandemic, which was a huge mistake. Investments in working families to help them, stay at work, to help them be safe at work, to make sure that if they were not, feeling well, that they had paid sick days so that they didn't have to go into work, could take care of themselves or their kids, and not have to worry about putting food on the table. Families have taken a big hit. People have taken a big hit. Businesses have taken a big hit. And all the Doug Ford government has done pretty much, and especially right now with Omicron, is say you're on your own. We're not going to provide any testing. We're not even going to provide data. We're not going to provide information. So you're on your own, and you can battle this Omicron wave on your own. Completely unacceptable. However, when it comes to his buddies, when it comes to Doug Ford's buddies, he's always there for them, right? He is always there for his buddies, and then it's the rest of us that end up paying the price. And that should never be a government's priority. It should never be about your buddies and making things good for you, your insider friends, while you're ignoring the needs of everyday Ontarians. Look, we all know that Stephen Del Duca, Kathleen Wynne, the Liberals, they are not the answer. They weren't the answer for 15 years. 15 years, they had a chance to make a difference for Ontario, but they didn't. In fact, they froze and cut hospital budgets and left hospitals vulnerable to the devastation that we see now. We had hallway medicine under the Liberals. It was the Liberals that brought us hallway medicine and squeezed our hospitals to the point where they were unable to keep up even before the pandemic hit. We watched as they didn't fund our schools properly. They had a chance to make those investments in our schools, but they didn't bother. And they were $15.9 billion of backlogged repairs for schools, which of course came home to roost during the pandemic, as the air quality in those schools was not adequate to address the spread of COVID-19. It was the privatization of long-term care continued under the Liberals. Of course, it's even continued further under the Conservatives. And we know that we have to get the profits out of long-term care. Every dime of public money that's invested in the care of our seniors should be going to those frontline services, not to the profit margins of private corporations, not to the return on investment of shareholders, but to the loving care and dignity of our seniors in long-term care. That the Liberal government closed 600 schools in Ontario. So there's just so much that 15 years could have done to support families and to make the kinds of investments that people need to build a great life. But the Liberals, they didn't bother to do it. They sold off Hydro One. They did that. They spent $1 billion to save their own seats with the gas plant scandal. But they didn't make the investments necessary for Ontarians. And so we don't need the Liberals back. In fact, it's really clear that there are two choices ahead of people on the way that we're going to go forward. It's really clear that people can choose to go back to Liberal and Conservative failures, or they can choose a government and a party that's going to stand up for them that's going to listen to what they have to say, that's going to make sure that not only do they hear what people have to say, but that they prioritize what people need and want, and then take action to get things done to help everyday folks. That's what we're all about. That's what the New Democrats are all about. And in Scarborough, that's what we need. We need an MPP, Neethan Shan, and a government that's on your side, that's standing up for local businesses and not big box stores, that's investing in our healthcare system, our education system, our long-term care system, not cutting, not privatizing like those other parties do, protecting workers, families, and not the powerful and the wealthy, not Doug Ford's buddies. It's really clear that Neethan Shan is exactly the person that Scarborough needs and Scarborough-Centre needs and deserves as their MPP. You know, the other two speakers have already talked about Neethan's amazing track record, his history as a community leader, as an educator, as an activist. We know that he's been elected before, both as a trustee with the school board, as a city councillor. He has been the party president of the NDP, and I want to say personally to Neethan, Neethan helped a great deal over the years to help us build our party into a party that not only talks about the equity issues that we all fight for, not only has these values, but actually shows those values and actually starts looking like the communities of people that we represent and that we talk about. And so I just have to say to Neethan on a personal level, the NDP as it looks now is not the same as it looked when I started as leader of the party. And you were right there along with me. And I can't ever thank you enough for the work that you did in our party, but it's the work that you're doing on every front. And I think it's really clear that work makes a difference in people's lives. It made a difference in our party, of course, but whether it's your position as the executive director of the Urban Alliance on Race Relations, whether it's an activist for our party, an organizer for our party, or all of the other organizations and efforts that you've undertaken, you've had a great leadership role historically, and you can carry that forward in a way that really makes a difference for Scarborough-Centre as their new MPP. Your reach has been national in scope in terms of your leadership on racial justice and health equity, and your policy recommendations and activism has really made a difference already. And as Janelle said, this is exactly why we need to see you in the Ontario legislature for Scarborough-Centre. There's no doubt that Neethan was also very key in our ongoing and growing relationship with the Tamil community. And we're so proud of that. A lot of that started back with Jack Layton many years ago. And I'm certainly honored to Kins for Change. I was with the Tamil community as we were demanding that action in the wake of the Tamil genocide. I was sitting on University Avenue with many of you for days on. I wasn't sitting for days on end, but I know many of you were, and you were trying to show the world what was going on, back home, and how we needed to stop the genocide against the Tamil people. I know that a big part of what the work you were doing was to push for the Tamil Heritage Month here in Ontario and across Canada, and of course we're celebrating Tamil Heritage Month right now. And so good on Neethan in terms of the work that you've done. Happy Tamil Heritage Month to all of you. It's the fight to get the Tamil Community Centre in Scarborough, which has finally got the go-ahead. And so that's amazing work, and it'll make a real difference. It'll make a real I can remember I think it was the Chinese Cultural Centre, where we've had a bunch of meetings and events with the Tamil community. And that's a while ago, of course, before COVID. And the discussion has been long going, and it has been ongoing for a very long time about the need for the Tamil Community Centre in Scarborough. So I'm really happy that that's moving forward, and it's because of Neethan's leadership, and it's because of the commitment to fight for what the community needs. And I'm happy to be on the front lines of those fights with all of you, and those efforts with all of you. Look, it's all about building our grassroots, and that's certainly what Neethan has been doing, and I know a lot of you have been doing that, building our grassroots and that building will lead to something that we have been aiming for some time now. It is definitely the case that this upcoming election is the election that we've not only been waiting for, but it's the election that we have been building towards. And our party has never been stronger. We have amazing candidates like Neethan, much capacity. I want to thank the MPPs that are here tonight for Neethan's launch. But I think it's really clear. This is exactly the election that we've been building for. This is our opportunity. It is the NDP that has the very solutions like no other time in history. I think no other time in history has it been more clear that the very solutions that New Democrats bring to the table that we've been talking about and pushing for so long are exactly the solutions that Ontarians need and deserve right now as we come out of COVID-19 and build an Ontario that is more just, that is more equitable, that is more welcoming, and that is more able to ensure that people have the opportunity to build a great life for themselves and for their families. And so on that note, the path forward to make sure that our government is elected is of course right here in Scarborough Centre, with putting all your effort and energies behind Neethan and making sure that he is the MPP that Scarborough Centre sends to Queen's Park in about 18 weeks' time. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this exciting campaign launch. I'm so proud and honored to once again be supporting Neethan's candidacy and his campaign. I'll be seeing you. I was in Scarborough Centre with Neethan today, as a matter of fact, and I told them then that I'll be back. I'll be back to support the campaign in every way that I possibly can. So you'll be seeing a bit of me over the next number of weeks and right onto the campaign trail. So thank you very, very much, everyone. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech, Nyawe, Vandakam, Nandri.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that amazing speech about the needs that people in Ontario that they have right now and how we, the NDP, are going to be fighting to bring it forward. Everyone, let's give those jazz fingers right now, because that was so fantastic, Andrea. And I really, really appreciate that. And I know each and every one of us, the 156 people who are online right now, appreciate that amazing words that you shared with us. And big shout out to Neethan for organizing. This is one of the largest Zooms I've been on in a while. So big shout out. Let's give a round of applause to all of you, everyone, for your amazing work, for coming out to support this amazing cause. And folks, we now have another amazing speaker coming up, someone who I can say personally from a lifetime of experience, someone who has been always a champion for human rights, a champion for justice, someone who actually goes way back with Neethan as well. So I'll leave those comments for him. But it's such an honor to be able to introduce someone who has now given me the honor of being an uncle. So it was such a lot of warmth in my heart. I want to bring my brother onto the virtual stage, Jagmeet Singh, to share his words in support of not only Neethan's campaign, but this amazing movement that's happening here in Ontario. Jagmeet Singh, my bro, there we go.
Gratin, what's going on, brother? Thank you for the intro. It's pretty cute to be introduced by your brother, and it's a pretty cute moment. Thank you very much. And I just got to say, I'm so excited to be here. First of all, we heard from our leader and the next Premier of Ontario. Big round of applause, all those twinkle hands for Andrea Horwath, our next Premier. She's amazing. And she laid out a vision of why we need New Democrats elected. And so I am committed to doing everything I can to making that reality happen, to making sure we form government here in Ontario, because the needs are so great. We know what we're up against. With the Conservatives, we've seen the approach they've taken. They are cutting our healthcare. They're cutting in education. All the fundamental things that we need, all the basic things that everyone thinks about when you think about a good society. You want to have healthcare that's there for you and your loved ones when you need it. You want a good education system to care for and to provide the skills for our next generation. These are the basics. And the Conservatives continually get the basics wrong. More than that, they've shown that their priorities are completely out of line with what Canadians and what Ontarians need. And so that's why we need New Democrats, because we're going to fight to make sure our healthcare system is there. We're going to fight hard to make sure we never allow any sort of privatization to come into our healthcare system. Because we know when the healthcare system is cut, when it gets harder and harder for people to get the care they need, we see this same story repeated, that some people will start to say, well, maybe if we make some services fee-based, or people could pay for this service or pay for that service. And what we see happening is our healthcare system gets eroded. Then it becomes, if you've got the money, you can get the payment, if you can make the payments, if you can pay for it, you get the care that you need, but otherwise people get left behind. That is not what we're about. New Democrats want to see a healthcare system for everyone. And so that's why we need to elect New Democrats across the province. We need to make sure Andrea Horwath is our premier, because she is passionate and dedicated to making sure people are always put first. Their healthcare, their education, all the things that people need. She's going to fight hard to make sure we solve them and we put people first. And Scarborough is a really special place for me. I was born in Scarborough. I have a deep, deep connection. So I want to say to all my Donald brothers and sisters that are on the call, because we know that Scarborough is also unofficially a very special place for the Tamil community. So Vanakkam, I hope everything's doing well. Ippadi irukringal. And I know I'm a little bit late because Thai Pongal just passed, but want to wish everyone a very happy Thai Pongal. And I hope you had a good time to connect with family. Go way back, he's someone deeply committed to Scarborough. As you've all heard, he's someone who's a fighter for the people. He has been deeply committed and worked and contributed at the city level, at the school level, and every one of you who are on this call to do everything possible to get him elected. I'm going to come out, Neethan. I'm going to commit it right now on this call. I will be there to help you, whether it's knocking on doors or whatever you need. We're going to make sure Neethan gets elected. He's going to be such an important voice. And I also want to just mention, whenever I was knocking doors with Neethan, when we walked through the community, anytime we saw people, they were so touched by how to become a city councillor, made them feel like they belonged, that they felt worth and value. It is so important. He's someone who's unequivocally passionate about fighting for Tamil community's human rights. And that's something that's important, because we know a lot of people shy away from that, get nervous or maybe back away. He's never backed down from human rights. He's never backed down for standing up for Tamil people and for human rights. And that to me is something really important. You know, that's someone who's never going to back down from a fight, and not even behind. She's in the front. She's doing all sorts of great work. And I see her two little kids there. Taksha, great to see you as well. I want to give a shout out to all the NDP MPPs, my previous colleagues and friends who are on the call as well. Thank you for everything you do. I see all the horrible decisions that Doug Ford and the Conservatives are doing, and I see you fighting back, and it gives me hope. And I'm so stoked, Andrea, that in the next 18 weeks, we have an opportunity to do something historic for the province of Ontario, and most importantly, for the people of Ontario, to have a government that's going to truly be there for you, not for the super rich or the buddies of Doug Ford that we've seen. You know, he's only there for his well-connected developer buddies, those at the very top. Andrea Horwath's going to be premier truly for the people, not just for photo ops, but truly there to make sure that this province works for you, works for your families, works for your kids, delivers the type of supports and care that you need. That's what we're up against. The choice in this election is clear. We need New Democrats to make this province work for people, to deliver the care that people need. And we can do it. It's possible. And we've seen the amazing difference that people see when they get a New Democrat government. I'm so stoked, Neethan. We need to get you elected. You're going to be an amazing member of provincial parliament. I look forward to celebrating with you when that happens. But more importantly, I look forward to working with you to make that happen. Everybody, big round of applause for the future member of provincial parliament, Neethan Shan, for Scarborough Centre. Scarborough is where I was born. So, you know, we got to make this happen, Scarborough. Big shout out. Thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of this today. And a big shout out to our future premier, Andrea Horwath. I'm going to be there with you every step of the way to make sure that happens. Thank you all. Take care. Vanakkam and Nandri. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, man, you can't get cuter than this. The brother introing and outroing his other brother. So, Jagmeet, that was fantastic. Inspired by your amazing words. And one thing that I really want to just impress is that Jagmeet gets the fact that we need progressive voices at every level in Canada. And that includes here in Ontario. And, you know, as brothers, he's expressed to me how excited he is for this campaign. He's expressed to me how hard he's going to work in this campaign. And I know, Jagmeet, with someone like you who is who's earned the goodwill of the people across Canada because of the really principled stance you've taken. It's going to really help our campaign as well. So thank you for that. Not just as a brother, but just as a progressive and someone who knows your commitment for this cause. Those words were amazing. Folks, we have heard from the next Premier of Ontario. We've heard from the next Prime Minister of Canada. We have heard from community activists and organizers. We have heard from people across the board, but now comes for the moment where we get to hear from Neethan himself. And I need to take a second. It's been said by everyone, but I've also known Neethan for a long time. And he is someone who is so dedicated to the community, someone who is always active and fighting for justice, someone who is not afraid of a fight, someone who has seen the ups and downs of politics, but has always come up on top. He is someone who's so committed for justice. He is someone who, has been rightly said, has amazing people in his life, people, powerful women like Tadsha in his life, his beautiful family. He is someone who is so committed to making sure that people in Scarborough have a voice at Queen's Park. But like I said, it's going to be different this time. We're not just electing the next NPP for Scarborough Centre, we're electing a member of the next government here in Ontario. So please, Neethan, come to the stage and share with us the amazing words we know that you have for Scarborough and all of Ontario.
Thank you, Brother Grattan. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I am very happy to be here with you virtually. Usually we've had this in person, and it feels slightly different, but it feels I could still feel the warmth. And thank you for joining us. And I want to start off by thanking Leader Andrea Horwath for joining us today, and thank you for your continued support for the work I do, not just as in electoral politics, but in any work I do in the community. You've always been there and supportive, and often, prioritized equity-seeking groups, equity-deserving groups in your work, and it's been a pleasure working with you in all different capacities. So thank you for being here, and Brother Jagmeet Singh, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy. You recently became a father. Congratulations to you and Gurkiran on the arrival of the baby. Even though this is a precious time for you, you took some time to come here and join us and be with us. So thank you and appreciate that, and welcome to the club. And looking forward to meeting you and the baby and your family in person soon, hopefully very soon. So and thanks to Grattan, thanks to Dolly Grattan Singh, MPP Grattan Singh and MPP Dolly Begum who will be speaking later, and all the other MPPs who are joining us. I think MPP Chris Clover and MPP Tom Rokosevic is here as well. Thank you, and Varsha, thanks for that amazing speech. Though you kind of made me reminded me how old I am, but thank you for that speech, and really appreciate. I've always been driven by young leaders right from the time. That's why maybe my campaign still looks very young every time I run. It's because the youth are an integral part, and I ran at a very young age in the 20s to become trustee as well. So it's important to be energized through the vision and the kind of hope that young people bring. So you're an example of that. Thank you. And Janelle, thank you very much. And I know you're running to become the president of Ontario NDP. I cannot be any more excited about that, because it's fabulous that at this critical point, having you as the president of Ontario NDP will be fabulous. And I think we will be forming government with a new premier and a new president of the party with a very strong sense of equity, very strong sense of community building. It'll be fabulous. So looking forward to spending a lot of time doing proactive work together. Usually we thank the family at the end, but I want to start off by thanking Tadsha. I don't really, whenever I commit to these races, I don't need to go and convince her. It's that she knows this is an important work, and she's always encouraging me to find ways to be there and do this work. And it's been easy for me to do all the things I've done in the last 20 years because of the, unconditional support and love that Tadsha has been giving. And now my two kids, one 7-year-old and one 10-year-old, Karikalan and Ellal, and it is COVID has made us spend more time together, so it feels a little bit weird to be out starting to do this campaign, but I'm thanking them because even though they're young children, I want to thank them because they are giving up their father's time for me to do this. So thank you. Yeah, and Scarborough-Centre, we saw momentum in the nomination race. We had over 500 people vote in the nomination race, which is amazing. I've been in Scarborough NDP politics for a while, and I would say this was the highest in terms of nomination race, number of members coming out to vote. So there was large engagement from the community, and that we take that momentum into this race going forward. So I want to thank all the Scarborough-Centre members for their overwhelming support and putting their trust on me to represent the riding in the upcoming very important provincial election. It's been a very difficult few years. It's been difficult because of the pandemic, because COVID has disproportionately impacted people of color. It is not a hidden fact. People know that people of color and people with various equity deserving groups have been disproportionately impacted because of already existing inequities in our society. But it's even worse when you have a government that didn't actually factor in equity into anything they did. So it's being hit from two sides. The pandemic is hitting you, and then you have this government that doesn't get equity at all, doesn't even relate to the concepts of why certain communities have been disadvantaged, why there's a need for dedicated support for that. And we see that with childcare and the delay in getting affordable childcare, the delay in even getting test kits to the schools, in total disregard. So I know a lot of things have been spoken already, so I don't want to take up too much time, and many of you are already people who are converted and know who I am and why you are here. But I want to say that when I end up getting elected in few months, it's not me who's going to be present. I always take a facilitative leadership role. Through me, many people's voices will be there, and I don't see myself as a top-down leader. Through my work, I hope to see many of your work there, many of your voices there, many of your achievements there, many of your struggles reflected there, and that's the kind of leadership I hope to bring. And particularly, as a teacher, formally as a youth worker in schools, as a trustee. I worked in the school system in multiple ways, but when I'm a parent, it's totally different. The kind of challenges I face right now as a parent of 2 children in the school system, nothing relates to that type of struggle. And so I'm taking that added perspective into the education system to be there to make sure that every parent's voice, every person who cares about public education system is represented. So June 2nd is going to come pretty soon. Time is flying. So hopefully all of you can be involved. There are some of you who have been there with every single election and seen me win, seen me narrowly lose, seen me bounce back immediately and start doing something new. And you've been with me throughout, and some of you are joining for the first time. Welcome. And hopefully we can build a strong movement in the next few months, because it cannot be a traditional campaign in the usual sense. It has to be a ground shifting, grassroots mobilizing campaign in Scarborough-Centre that's never been seen in the recent history. I'm not sure. I'm not old enough to reflect on earlier history, but in the recent history. So let's do this together. Let's make sure that we have a progressive government led by Premier Andrea Horwath. Let's make sure that Scarborough-Centre gets an NDP progressive MPP. Let's also make sure we elect other progressive candidates like Dolly in Scarborough in solidarity, working together. So at this time, I want to finish off by saying it's exciting for me to be back in politics, even though it feels like a little bit of a gap. I'm looking forward to this opportunity to be representing a community that definitely needs access to various forms of decision making, and looking forward to doing that together with all of you. So thank you very much for joining me today. And I want to wrap up by saying Happy Tamil Heritage Month to everyone. The Tamil community has been the foundation for my work. It is what taught me to relate to other struggles. Being part of a survivor of genocide has made me empathize with many other struggles, made me relate to the indigenous solidarity movement, made me relate to racial profiling that the Black community goes through made me relate to the genocide Sikh community face. It is that foundational lived experience as a Tamil Canadian that is driving my social justice and the solidarity and the kind of relationship building that I do. So thank you very much to all the members of the Tamil community for your continued support as well. And Nandri, Vanakkam, thank you everyone for coming, and I'll pass it back to Goretan.
Everyone, we need another round of applause for Neethan. That was so beautiful. And I think whenever I hear Neethan speak, the word that comes to mind is humility. He is someone who is so true to what he said himself, that he said, you're not electing Neethan as a leader, you're electing someone who is facilitating the voices of the community. And that is how I've seen Neethan organize from day one. That is the spirit in which he connects to the community. And that's truly what I think motivates him, pushes him to move forward. So thank you so much for those amazing words, Neethan. And we're all so inspired and so dedicated to fight as hard as we can to get not just you elected, but to form the next NDP government here in Ontario. Folks, we're now moving over to one of the most important processes, the most important ways to get Neethan involved. We've seen everyone across the board pledge their support for Jagmeet. We have Andrea, the leader, next Premier of Ontario. We have Jagmeet Singh, leader of the federal NDP. We have MPPs across the board. We even have David Warner, who I want to recognize, former MPP from Scarborough-Ellesmere, who is here as well. We have people across the board here to support Neethan, and it's so important. But now we need to make that commitment a tangible way to actually get Neethan elected, and that means putting your support forward. Now, before I go forward, I do want to just say to everyone, please do not live stream or record this event. We have recordings that will be circulated later on. So just if you're doing any of that, please stop that now, just because that way we'll provide our own recordings out to everyone. Okay, folks, so this is the process. There are two things you need to win an election. You need your votes and you need your notes. You need the money. You need the dollars. That's how we elect progressives across the board. We've seen across the world now that progressives can donate and fundraise, and progressives can make sure they have fully funded campaigns. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to come together and we're going to get as much funds as possible for Neethan so he can hit the ground running tomorrow. So he can make sure he has funds for his signs, he has funds for his flyers and office, everything he needs. There should be nothing holding Neethan back from holding and running one of the best campaigns that Scarborough has ever seen. And we're going to make that happen today. So this is the process, folks. I'm going to be going through the different brackets that you can donate toward Neethan. If you are interested in donating, you can either pledge by raising your hand. If there's a raise hand function, you can just raise your hand as well. You can message in the chat box. That goes directly to our moderator. Only the information will go to that individual. You can, like I said, raise your hand physically, raise your hand through the raise hand function. And if you're open to it, we'd love to hear from you as well and get you to share some words of why you're supporting Neethan. Also, I want to say this. When we call on the amount that you'll be donating, think about it as a bracket. So if I say a certain number and you can get a few people in your network to come together to donate to Neethan, let's do that as well. So everyone put your arms down for now, because I'm going to go through the numbers and we're going to go, we'll start fundraising per number. But I just want to emphasize this point as well. If you think that you can go to your network and fundraise a certain amount of money, then also pledge that and say, I'm going to be fundraising and I'm going to be a fundraising captain for Neethan, because that's one of the most impactful ways that you can support Neethan, not just donating yourself, but making sure that you get 3 or 4 other people to donate together. So when I go through these numbers, keep that in mind, not just the amount that you can give, but if there's an amount that you can help fundraise for Neethan. Okay, without further ado, everyone, we're going to start at the top. This is the max donation that you can give to Neethan. It is $3,300. You get back in your tax credit, you get back $1,423. So basically, you give Neethan the max and you get back $1,400. Only costs you $1,800 in comparison to the amount that's going to Neethan. This is the max donation. If you can donate that amount, or if you can fundraise that amount from your network, let's get you to raise your hands right now. Let's get the support for Neethan, because this is how we get him elected. This is amazing. Well, look, right off the top, we have Qabas Nava, we have Mohammed Shafi, we have Farouk Majid. Wow, Neethan, this is amazing. Folks, join this movement. We have already Yogan. We have 4 people. That is more than $12,000 right now. Probably more than $13,000, $14,000 right now. This is fantastic. Any other hands? Any other hands? We have Santa Kumar hand up. And I'm going to turn to the administrator because there's so many people on this call right now. I don't want to miss anyone. So if there's anyone else, let's go through these names right now. If you wanted to say 2 words right now or a few lines in support of why you're fundraising and why you're supporting, this would be such an important time to do this. Like I said, folks, you're going to be donating and fundraising for Neethan. And if you can get people from your community and network to support as well, that'd be great. Let's start turning to the administrator. If you can unmute. We have 7 folks right now. 7 folks have raised their hand for $3,330. $3,300. That is fantastic. That's over $20,000 right now, right off the jump. So let's get the 8 hands have gone up. This is fantastic. Let's get everyone a round of applause for these folks. And let's start unmuting them. And let's get you to say a few words of why you're supporting Neethan. Let's start with Qabas Nava. If you want to say some words.
Hi guys. Yes, my name is Qabas Nava. I've known Neethan since 2005 when I finished university. He was the first person that sort of helped me sort of understand what and how to participate in the community. I joined the York Region Equity Council. From that time, he was very supportive in not just like he said, he's a facilitator of many things, and he's a facilitator of leaders. So I was very from that point on to now, I've always been a well-wisher of Neethan, and he's been resilient through those years, and I wish him the best luck. I think 2022 is the year for him, and so I wish him the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Qabas. That was really amazing to see that commitment and that support. Beautiful words. Yogan, if you would like to say some words. You'll be unmuted shortly, I believe.
It's a reason.
Yes, Yogan, if you want to explain why you're supporting Neethan.
He's we better feel he become our community leader. Or he really has been supporting more than 20 years to our community. So we need to support something to him.
Amazing, short and sweet, Yogan. Nandri, so much for those amazing words. We'll go next to Suresh Kumar, if you'd like to explain why you are supporting and donating to Neethan in this way.
Hey guys, my name is Suresh Kumar. Neethan and I go back so many years. I think I know him since he started politics for the first time. He has been a huge supporter of the community as well. And also he's a proud member of my networking club. Therefore, I will be hosting a barbecue in my backyard and supporting him with some of my friends.
Amazing, Suresh. Really means a lot. It's a trend here. Neethan has deep roots in the community and they're coming out to show their love and support to him. We'll go next to Vitu Ramachandran. If you'd like to explain why you're supporting Neethan.
Oh, hi there. Yeah, Neethan's a good friend of mine. I met him while sitting on different boards or doing different community events with him. He's a hard worker. He's truly deserved this. And he's a good symbol for our community. So I would love to be in a position to be able to assist him.
Amazing. Vitu Ramachandran means a lot. This is the kind of support we need to make sure that Neethan gets elected. We have next Mohammed Shafi.
Hello, everyone. So I'm a first generation a parent from Tamil Nadu, India. So I'm a Tamil Muslim. And when I landed like less than 10 years ago, I was looking for Tamil leaders, and I couldn't find so many. There were very few. And in the Toronto City Council, there was only one. But thank God, Neethan's tenure in that city hall was so action-packed. I had all the engagement that I wished from a Tamil leader. Tamil, I could not constrain that to ethics or morale, but a lot is expected out of a Tamil leader who understands the heritage of it. 2000 years ago, the definitions were like by birth we are all equal, and the world is a town, and we are all kin. So those were the principles that was we brought up with, but many people just had it only on the books. But I saw Neethan, he was talking, he was walking the talk for indigenous peoples, Black people, Filipinos, Muslims, and I got very inspired and I followed him. But especially the last 2 years, I'm working closely with him for Tamil Civic Action as a volunteer and a board member. And I saw firsthand that, how much hard work he puts into that, the mental stamina, the vision he has for the youth, like Varsha, those things, have, made me do this commitment. I'm sure I will at least raise, $1,500 for Neethan. And as a father of 2 girls, I want people like Neethan to lead us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Means so much. And just to clarify this, we're going to be going through the whole fundraising process. We're going bracket by bracket. This is we're asking folks who want to raise their hand for the $3,300 bracket to either donate or fundraise for, but we'll be going down every dollar counts in this campaign, be it big or small, high or low. Every single dollar helps push to make sure that Neethan gets elected. We next have Farooq Majid, if you'd like to share your words.
Vanakkam. Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to be here to represent, to support Neethan. So I know Neethan from the time he got elected as a councillor. So there was one thing that I have seen Neethan is he's a person of honesty, sincerity, and a very strategy oriented person. He walks the talk kind of person. We have seen many politicians in our life, but Neethan is one of the person. He represents everyone honestly. I think that's one of the main reason I started to love the way that he works and the way that he leads. So I admire him as a leader. So not just from Tamil Muslim community, we are Indian Muslim community, which I come from. We all do our best to support, and that's the main reason I like to pledge this amount and also do the support. I'm glad to see Jagmeet and yourself and other NDP leaders, Andrea, in this gathering. Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, Farooq ji. This means so much. And we're going to go last to Iqbal, who has raised his hand. As these we have I think 8-9 folks who have pledged $3,300 to you. This is over $25,000. This is fantastic. Let's keep it going. Iqbal ji, if you could please share your words of why you're supporting Neethan.
So, Vanakkam, thanks for the opportunity to say a few words, and it's my honor to join the team. And I know Neethan ever since he became a councillor in the city of Toronto. And I had a privilege being a city employee to really work with him. And I literally admire his commitment. And I can't forget the days where he used to stand up and really articulate the needs of the community with a passion. And it really, I'm so happy to see a member coming from a Tamil community to a city council to really bring and address the concerns and issues that are faced with the Tamil community. And since then, I know Neethan and such a finite, humble, very dedicated and extremely passionate in community services. And one thing I admire is that when we speak of the diversity, he truly practiced that in every step of the way. So I personally want to really support him and wish him good luck. And I will definitely, from the Tamil Muslim community, I've been here in Canada for 32 years. And I'm so happy to see someone coming from our community, really representing our community. So I will be there along with our Tamil community friends, and we will definitely support him and wish him good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Iqbal ji. Look at just the humility, the comments of people saying that Neethan is humble, dedicated, passionate. This is the kind of leadership we need. Okay, folks, we're going to keep it going. That was fantastic. And I'm going to ask the moderator to keep a tally of what we have pledged right now. I think it's over 25,000 if I'm not incorrect. 8 people pledged 3,300, so looks to me over 25,000. We're gonna go to the next dollar figure. So keep this in mind, folks. Let's just clarify this. We're asking for the next dollar figure is going to be $2,500. You're going to get back in your donation. You're going to get back a tax credit of just about $1,200. The cost to you is around $1,300. And this is the amount that either you can donate or you can fundraise from your connections and your communities and people you know across the board. So who can now pledge $2,500? Either they're donating themselves directly or fundraising. Let's see who's going to join the team and support Neethan for this amazing time. And listen, we've had a lot of people supporting right now at the highest number. So if we're a little bit low on 2,500, I'll let this one slide because so many folks fundraise and pledge for 3,300. But I'm going to still put it out there, 2,500. Let's do it going once. Sometimes you gotta just let it settle. There we go. Mr. Vel has pledged $2,500. Fantastic. We can't move too quickly. You gotta give it time to simmer. And let's, Vel, let's get you to speak right now of why you're fundraising and donating to Neethan, and hopefully that encourages some other hands to get raised. Val needs to get unmuted. If the administrator could unmute Val, please. Val, who's so graciously, there you are, Val.
Yeah, the main reason is actually his persistence, because everyone actually covered all the other details. So I'm actually attending from Ottawa, and there is a few of my friends in this group, and also some of them not able to attend due to other time conflicts. So they all going to support. So we will do a fundraiser in Ottawa for him, and this is actually for his persistent, because he it doesn't matter he win or lose, he always with the community, and he always with the values. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Val. That means so much. Anyone else, folks, for $2,500 who can either donate that yourself or fundraise that through your networks or people in the community? They must all be from Ontario. As per the rules, but anyone who is who else wants to see they can pledge that amount? You gotta let it simmer. You gotta wait a little bit. I'm gonna do it going once, going twice, going thrice. That's still fantastic, folks, because we're probably close to $30,000 right now, given the $3,300 pledges and this $2,500 pledge. Really, really fantastic. Folks, let's go down to the next number. We're going to do $2,000. $2,000, very, very kind of a clean cut. You give $2,000. Effectively, you get back $1,000, and the cost to you is $1,000, give or take. Who can right now pledge for $2,000? Listen, it's only $1,000 cost to you, and $1,000 will be given back. Or if you want to fundraise that through your network, of course, it's different breakdowns because it'll be different amounts. But who can pledge for $2,000? Either they donate themselves or they can help fundraise that amount from their network or community. Who wants to step up to the plate for $2,000? This is the money that's required. You need these funds to help make sure he has an office. We need a fantastic office. We need a big sign for Neethan Shan. We need the biggest sign. We know a lot of folks know Neethan already because he's worked as a trustee, as a city councillor, is working the party across the board. But who can step up and help fundraise $2,000 for Neethan? Sometimes you gotta make it a little bit awkward. You do a little bit of silence. See if that nudges someone. Nudges me to the next one. All right, folks, I'm going to let this one, we've been doing really good so far. So I think it's okay if we keep it moving. We'll do it going once, going twice, going thrice. That's okay, folks. We still have a really amazing turnout from the two earlier brackets. Let's keep it going, though, folks. We need to keep the energy up. Let's get a round of applause for all the past donors right now, because listen, you need those votes and notes to win these elections. And we know that we are going to be going up against the really deep pockets that the Conservative government, we've seen the numbers. The Conservative Party, rather, they turn to big, big, high donors. We succeed by turning to the people, by getting people to come together. And that's what we need right now. So Folks, let's go to our next number. This was the previous max donation. This is in past elections. If you donated the max, this is what it used to be. We're looking for anyone who can right now fundraise, donate themselves, get together. $16.50. You get back $894, a cost of $756 to you. This is a great number. Who can? There we go. We have Anu. Round of applause for Anu. She's stepping up to the plate. Who else wants to join Anu in this amazing? I see Anu is ready. She's like, I'm boom. I got it. 1,500. You know, that's the kind of support we need. Anu, let's get you to say some words, and hopefully that encourages others to join the team.
So I've known Neethan probably over 10 years. I'm sad that he's not running in my riding here in Scarborough. But I'm a fan of Neethan and his family, his personality, his dedication. You know, we partnered with Neethan with Punjabi Community Health Services. So once I get the Punjabi PCHS folks on board to know that Neethan, that, you know, you're running, I can even do maybe more than $16.50, but I'll just keep it there for now. And you have me as a lifelong volunteer to support you. So looking forward to seeing you in Queen's Park, Neethan. Keep up the great work.
Beautiful words from Anu, really means a lot. And look, you know, this is something about Neethan as well. He's done so much work, not just in the Tamil community, but he's done a lot of cross-cultural work. He has built solidarity. He is a bridge builder. He is a community builder. And I also see right now from Untitled Shan, he has pledged $1,000 as well. This is just fantastic. The funds are coming in. I think we're probably, I'm going to look to the administrator, to the moderator, to let me know what the tally is at right now, but I think we'll probably surpass 30,000 if I'm not wrong right now. Anyone else wants to join Anu and either donate directly or help fundraise $16.50? Looking out to the audience, we have 106 people still on right now, so we have a lot of folks here. Anyone else who wants to jump on? I did get a direct message from Mithili Shan. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. Who wants to donate 1,000? That will be the next amount that I'll be going to, but I'm going to stick at the $16.50 for right now. Anyone else wants to join? For, you know, we're really top heavy in this fundraising as well. We had a lot of donors coming at the higher amount, so I understand it for slowing down a little bit. But let's see, anyone else for $16.50? This is the previous max donation. Going once. Yeah, let's simmer sometimes. You know, let's see. Someone's, you know, maybe they'll think, yeah, I can do $16.50. I know a few other folks, or maybe I'm able to do it myself. Going twice and going thrice. That's okay, folks. We're doing amazing right now. I've done a lot of these fundraising Zoom calls, and the fact that we're probably over 30,000 is fantastic. This demonstrates the kind of support and love there is for Neethan out there. Folks, let's go to the next number for fundraising. Now, this is a really good round number, folks. We should get a lot of support for this. $1,000. You only actually have to pay $393. You get back $607. If you can either donate that money yourself. Oh, wow. The hands have gone up. 6 participants. Boom. This is amazing. Let's get it started. Let's start with Giselle Yanez for why you're supporting and donating $1,000 to Neethan.
Hi, I even stayed at work to make people with the intelligence, the values, the commitment, the energy that Neethan has. They don't come along many times. And the province, well, Scarborough, the province, the NDP, Canada would benefit tremendously for by having him as an MPP. So I throw my support against an amazing man with amazing values, and we'd be only lucky to have him as the next MPP for Scarborough-Centre.
Thank you so much, Giselle. Giselle is someone who has a long, long history in the NDP, and we're so honored to have you speaking today and showing your support. Next, folks, we have a really fantastic person they're all fantastic, you're all amazing, but I got to give a shout out to Dhananjay Kohli. Dhananjay Kohli, who is the president of the federal party, is coming out. He's dropping cash on Neethan. That means so much. DJ, let us know why you're supporting Mr. Neethan.
So I apologize, folks, that I'm calling from my phone. I'm on another meeting as well. The first campaign that I worked directly with Neethan on was in 2014 in the provincial, where I was the manager for his provincial campaign. And the pleasure of working on a lot of campaigns over many years. And anytime anybody asks me what was my favorite campaign to this day, I always still say the 2014 Scarborough River campaign where Neethan was the candidate. I had the privilege of seeing firsthand the amount of support that Neethan has within the community. And I find it really interesting that there are folks on this call who I haven't seen since the 2014 campaign who are still around, still supporting Neethan because of the amazing work that he has done. He's shown that he is somebody who is in it for the long haul. He's somebody who's going to make the change and isn't going to back down from a fight, and is the exact type of person that we need at Queen's Park to represent working people in Ontario. So I am more than happy to support Neethan with this donation and look forward to doing more.
Dhananjay, our president, our amazing activist. Listen, he worked on Brampton campaigns as well. And the fact that he's saying Scarborough with Neethan was even better. I take it, but I mean, I accept it as well because Neethan is a fantastic human being with a fantastic community behind him. Let's keep it going. We have Shalini Shan. If you could please let us know why you're supporting Neethan.
Hi, just want to wish Neethan all the best. He's my brother. I can't think of anyone more deserving. So all the best, Neethan.
Amazing, thank you. Sometimes these short and sweet ones are the most authentic. So that means a lot, lots of love. We have next Shamug Raja. If you would like to explain why you're donating $1,000 to Neethan.
Vanakkam. Hi everyone. I am the proud father of Neethan.
Oh wow! Father Saab, that's amazing.
Best wishes, Neethan, on your election. And whatever all the speakers here in this forum have spoken of Neethan, we have seen on him from his childhood. So we have experienced whatever the qualities he has, and we have enjoyed having a son like him, and we are very proud of him. I think we will all work together, get Neethan elected this time with his energy and enthusiasm and the drive he has. He deserves to be the MPP for Scarborough-Centre, and also we will have to see the new government elected to the Ontario legislature under the leadership of Andrea Howard, the NDP government, and Neethan will be there with her. So all the best, Neethan and the NDP party. So we'll all work together to see NDP forming the government in the forthcoming election. Thank you. Good luck.
And we know that any of the praise that we give to Neethan is because of the amazing work that his parents did in raising Neethan. So thank you so much to the parents for your dedication and your amazing work in raising such a beautiful and amazing and dedicated son. So really, really going from being mentored to now helping support Neethan get elected means so much. You've talked already, but say some words as well about why you're now, not just talking about it, but you're donating it.
Again, like you said, I think I've said like a lot, so I'm not gonna bore everyone with what my sentiments are. But something like a little personal note, I always call Neethan Anna. I always call him Anna, and he knows that. And Anna, for people who don't know, means older brother, and that's definitely the type of role he plays in multiple communities. I've never lived in Scarborough, but I have family members, and I trust wholeheartedly that he will be an amazing leader for them, and through that represent all of us. And I saw many like familiar faces of brothers who raised their hands for the maximum amount. So I kind of already like private messaged them that I'd help them fundraise. But unfortunately, as a university student, like this is as much as I can do at the moment. So I thought I'd pitch in my part. That's all.
This really means a lot. This is a lot. You're really contributing a lot, and it's truly humbling for us all. Thank you so much for that. Patapan, if you'd like to explain why you are supporting Neethan.
Sure. Thank you. Vanakkam. Good evening, everyone. So it's Neethan is really a good friend of mine, and he's a great and a humble leader. I will be repeating many words that everybody had already said about him. One thing that's come to mind is he not only he stands with the people looking for rights, standing up with the seeking justice, rights, him working for human rights. Beside that, he is truly concerned about well-being of the needy people. Right. One thing I could point to is he worked really hard to coordinate food donations to the Canadian Food Bank. That's an activity he initiated. He worked hard every year to initiate and achieve the goal, and he put together a great team of young talents, and being a good leader, not only by his actions, he leading by, he's a role model, acting as a role model to the young leaders, and will lead people like him to stand up for needy and underprivileged people. So I like to see him at Queen's Park, and continue on with his good work he's doing. I will be supporting not only this campaign, any future campaign. My full support is there for him. Thank you.
Beautiful words. Thank you so much for that. And I believe, unless the administrator, we have a few more actually. So let's go to Dr. Santa Kumar, and then I have some other folks. If someone can unmute Dr. Santa Kumar.
Oh, hi. Yes, I have. I've always supported Neethan for the last many years, and he has all the credentials, and he worked not in 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, but he has been working on this and helping the community, and started when he was in the high school, and all these. He has a CV. I mean, I don't know how many of you have seen. I have been to his campaigns in the past, and he has a best CV. I have seen the bio data, and so I always supported him. And I sometimes in politics, there's a luck also plays a role. So hopefully that luck will be with him this time, and I would like to wish him all for all the community support. Tamil சமூகத்துக்கு அவர் பல வழிகளும் தமிழ் சமூகம் மட்டுமல்லாது மற்ற சமூகங்களுக்கும் செய்து வருகிற சேவைகளையும் பாராட்டி நான் எனது சிறிய I am just donating a token donation again for him to wish him and to get him to Queen's Park. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That really means so much. And I've also seen we've had Tipan Raj, who doesn't want to. He's a humble individual, just wants to give his donation, doesn't want to take up our time. He's pledged $1,000 along with, as I said, Nitil Shah. So I think with all of that, folks, we are just about at the 40,000 mark. Look at that. David, actually, we've had David Warner just raised his hand as well. If David wants to, if you're donating, this is for the $1,000 category. If that's the amount you like to donate, we'd love to have you. Either way, speak, it doesn't matter. But just so you know, yes, David, let's have David unmuted as well, because that's going to take us over 40,000 for sure.
Yeah, it's a privilege. When you think about energy, commitment, the drive and desire, we have with this candidate a star candidate. And I don't know if people realize that in terms, if you look at, across the province, we've got ourselves a bona fide star candidate. He has incredible credentials. He will work tirelessly with honesty and integrity. He has a commitment to the ideals of this party, and he will make each of us superbly proud when he stands in the legislature and to represent Scarborough and beyond Scarborough, to represent what we need to do in this province. I can't tell you how delighted I am to see Neethan as our candidate. It's just wonderful. It's been a long time since we've held the seat, and it just makes me feel really good to know that this seat is coming back to the New Democrats. And so my very best to Neethan and his family. And Neethan, one personal word, enjoy the campaign. It's going to be yours. Lots of hard work, but you got incredible support out there. So just enjoy it. I enjoyed all my campaigns, and not all of them were successful. 4 of them were, but you're on your way to Queen's Park, and it's a privilege to make a modest donation. So.
Not modest at all, Mr. Warner. That was a very gracious donation, and we're honored to have your support. Folks, we've hit over the 40,000 mark. Neethan, you are on your way to making sure you have the funds necessary to run an amazing campaign. I also want to acknowledge that former Councillor Glenn DeBearmaker has been in attendance as well. So from past city councillors to current MPPs to people across the board, so much support here for Neethan, and it's just so humbling to see. Folks, let's keep it going now. We're going to jump down to the next dollar figure. This is going to be $750, everyone. You get back $482. The cost you is only $268. If someone can either fundraise the $750 or someone can donate that amount themselves, this is a great amount, great tax return as well on this. Keep that in mind with these donations, right? Like you don't pay at all. There's a very advantageous tax incentive. I feel like we had a lot of folks do the $1,000 and $750 is too close to the 1,000. So I think we might have to move on to the next amount. And folks, I'm going to focus on this number for a while. And this is a really important number to focus when you fundraise, because it is the most tax efficient amount that you can donate to any political party, but this is the best amount. You get 75% back. 75% back when you donate this amount. So if you give $400, you get back $300. Only $100 cost to you. Only $100 cost to you. So who out there can give today? $400. It only costs you $100. That's thinking like that. You're giving $400 to Neethan, and you're getting $300 back. I can't think of a better deal than that. So this is fantastic. Also, I just want to jump in with Siva Loganathan, who has an issue with his camera and mic, but he wants to donate $500. So we have $500 already, and 6 other individuals have raised their hand right now. This is an honor. This is fantastic. Let's go through it one by one. Atursh, if you'd like to start.
Yes, hi, thank you. Just a donation on behalf of the Vaithilingham family, and personally just wanted to say Neethan has been a mentor in a lot of the work that I've done with him in different capacities. So it's just an honor to support you, and echoing the thoughts of many of the other speakers and donators today. So all the best. I can't think of a better person to represent the folks of Scarborough-Centre, and all the best on the campaign, Neethan and so that's $500 from the Vaithilingham family. Thank you.
Amazing. This is a beautiful, beautiful pledge. Fantastic. Let's go next to Regina David.
Oh, hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Regina David. As a member of NDP party and resident of Scarborough-Centre and a long-term Labour activist, I'm so excited to have Neethan Shan as a candidate for Ontario NDP in Scarborough-Centre. I always admire, as many of the speakers mentioned, his excellent community work, commitment, and contribution to build a democratic society with so much energy. I have noticed that he does what he says. He walks the talk. and he lived with NDP party platform ideas and beliefs. He never get tired of advocating for freedom, democracy, or addressing inequality. Scarborough-Centre and Ontario need now more than ever a person like Neethan, who has a vast knowledge of community in Scarborough and Ontario to support and contribute the recovery of province from the pandemic in impact. If he gets elected, he will be the vital voice at an NDP table for those who are facing inequality and are marginalized, like women, racialized, indigenous, immigrant, unemployed, and low-income individual. Therefore, I will be fully supporting Neethan during his campaign, and I pledge $500 toward his campaign. We have to get Neethan elected. We all know that more money is more impact. I urge everyone in this room to support Neethan and pledge any amount you can contribute to support his campaign. I wish all the best to Neethan and his journey to achieve a victory through this election.
Such amazing, moving words. We've been hearing this from across the board. Neethan, you have so much love in this community for you. It's such an honor to hear. So humbling to hear. Next, we have Athini Parthiban, if you'd like to say why you're fundraising and supporting Neethan.
Hello, my name is Adini Parthiban, and I would like to donate to Neethan Shan because I have been following him for 4 years and he inspires me very much. And I'm very fond of him for his actions and how he treats the Tamil community and whatever he does to support us. And I've been always a fan for him, and I wish him luck in the future. And with the money I will be donating, I hope his votes will be successful, and I hope that he will do more. And with us, that we will continue to do more for him, and we will join him to make the Tamil community greater. Thank you.
Wow, folks, listen, I've done a lot of these fundraising events, and I've never seen such an amazing speaker like Athini. That literally made my heart go warm. Imagine it made your heart go warm. To everyone watching, let's give her a huge round of applause, everyone. Let's just let's give her that love, because that was such an amazing and moving, beautiful words you had to share. So thank you so much, Athini, and to your entire family for that amazing love. And folks, if Athini can do it, all of you can do it. So if you can donate for Neethan, raise your hand. Let's get that support in, because that's so fantastic. Sata Vivek, if you'd like to go next.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So actually, I started to work with, I knew Neethan and his name for a long time, but I never had a chance to work together with Neethan until the pandemic started. So I should say thank you to pandemic to made us to work together. So a lot of people have said everything about Neethan. I would like to say one sentence. Neethan is a catalyst for change since I started to work with him. So I'm so honored and privileged to work with you, Neethan. And also, we were talking about recovery from pandemic. I think Neethan has already started the work to recovery from pandemic through his vaccine campaigns and arranging transportation. So in other words, he's a connector of the community. So I'm really honored and privileged to work with you, Neethan, and I will donate 500 personally, but I don't want to commit, but I'll try to raise funds within my friends and families to reach 1,000. I won't promise, but 500 for sure. Thank you.
Amazing, and just really touching words across the board. Let's keep it going. Suse, if you'd like to say why you're supporting Neethan.
Vanakkam. Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here in Neethan's campaign launch today. I'm so happy. The Neethan is really an amazing leader who has real passion for the community. And I have seen that in Neethan. And all those speakers who have spoken just now before me has not anything about Neethan. In fact, we can still say so much of Neethan for his leadership and passion for the community, people, and for equality. Especially, I had an opportunity with my colleague Sada, who just spoke just now. We were working on domestic violence and addressing domestic violence and gender equality issues in certain ways. And not only that, so in every sphere, every area, every field, Neethan is pioneering, and he has so much courage and caliber and ability and the passion, commitment. So I will support Neethan in every way. This is my little contribution. I will commit $500, and then for the campaign, Neethan, you can always rely on me to do other help as well. Wish you all the best. We want to see you. We have to see you at Queen's Park.
Beautiful words, beautiful words. Let's keep it going with Ruby next. If Ruby like to say why you're supporting Neethan.
Hi there. Hi, Neethan. I just I'm a Scarborough-Centre resident. I just wanted to throw my support in. I think, as much as we can do, that's my little token of good luck. I met a little bit about Neethan. I got the opportunity to meet Neethan as a graduate of the social service worker program a good 22 years ago. He speaks true to the type of community development that someone can initiate. He's done some great work, not just in the Tamil community, but just in the community at large. And I think to have somebody that's honest, respectful, somebody with integrity, I think that's important in any party that we elect. But Neethan has definitely shown his track record for Education Week, something that as a Tamil person myself, I'm quite proud of. The resiliency, he's spoken to it a lot, and I think his work with race relations speaks a lot to it. He's a great spokesperson and a voice, not just for equity-seeking people, but communities, especially in Scarborough with the Love Scarborough campaign and healthcare and education, persons like me with disabilities. So I think it's important to support not just somebody in our community who's done well and who can speak to it, but someone who speaks for all Canadians. So I wanted to put my 2 cents, and I think you'll do a great job. You'll be a great representation of Scarborough. And all your dedication, it's about time for change. And I think, the NDP now is very, very different. It's still young and youthful, but I think the city, the province really needs some shaking up. And I think you bring that. So good luck. And I'm happy to support.
This is just such an outpouring of love for Neethan. I know I've been getting messages on the side. I've been checking as well. We have Siva Samson Ravidran, who did $400. We had Rahulan, who did $500. And I think I mentioned earlier, but just in case I didn't, we have Siva Loganathan, who did $500 as well. So just such an amazing turnout of folks coming out. I don't think I missed anyone else. So we're just going to wrap this up, folks. This is your last 2 brackets. We're going to have you to donate. Last 2 brackets or so. We're going to go down 50% from what we just did. He just did the 400s. Now we have $200. $200. These, like, every single dollar counts, big or small. And this is a fantastic amount to contribute. It can contribute to signs and flyers and so much more. It only costs you $150, and you get, it only costs you $50 and you get $150 back. So it's a really accessible amount. If anyone is able right now to give the $200, this is just I know we had a lot of folks donate to the earlier amount, so I understand if this bracket is filled up, but I'll give it a second for anyone who wants to give this amount. I don't see any hands up yet. Not yet. Okay, let's go, folks, down to $100. A cost you of just $25, and you get back $75. $25, just sometimes a an amount that, you know, you go to lunch and, you know, the cost of a lunch or maybe a snack and a lunch, $25 is not too much. If anyone can do $100, I see Dr. Paul doing 100. We have Annie Wong donating as well. Anyone else on the $100 mark? This is it. This is, you know, we have two hands up. There we go. Janelle Brady and Viramatru. Janelle, you spoke already, but if you'd like to talk again, we'd love to for you to share why you're donating today.
Yes, I'd like to give actually $250. And
$250, amazing. She's like, listen, you're not meeting my brackets. I'm gonna make my own bracket right now. Hit it. That's amazing. I'm down.
Sorry about that.
I don't mind at
Thank
all.
you.
Listen, we're here to fundraise, so it's all amazing. Thank you so much, Janelle. And also, I misspoke earlier. Dr. Paul is doing $1,000. So big shout out to Dr. Paul. I feel like we're over 50,000 for sure right now. So this is fantastic. And Verimuthu, if you'd like to explain why you're donating $100 to Neethan.
No, not $100. I'm going to contribute $500.
500. Wow, this is it, folks. This is your last moment. So whatever you want to give, we'll take it. We're saying 100, but whatever you'd like to.
Yeah, and Neethan, actually, we know him very well since he was as a university student. He was a batchmate of my daughter, and from that time, I was seeing him in the fighting for all the human rights and always involving with the community. He's a very good leader, and he's very simple and humble. And whatever he says, he's in an action. He's in an action. He's an action-oriented person. So even the NDP party is always with the working class. So all these reasons, I am going to support him. He's a very good leadership. He has it. He has all the capacity to win this election. Thank you. All the success.
Amazing, amazing. Let's keep it going. It's been a long call, so we're just going to quickly go through the rest. We have Villa Karuna.
Yes.
If you'd like to express why you're donating to Neethan.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Already, all the people who are in this room have been telling about Neethan so much, so I don't have anything to say too much. But one thing I can say, Neethan is very much dedicated, and whatever action he takes, he never goes back. He keeps his leg in front, not ever backwards. So that is the dedication he has, and he will definitely win in this time. And I pray for that. And on behalf of Villa Karuna, I have already given my portion, but this is my own personal donation for $200 for Neethan.
Amazing. This is so fantastic. Let's keep it going. We have Raja Rajan. Rajan, if you'd like to say what you're donating and why you're donating.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Raj Rajan. I know him, Neethan, for more than 20 years. I work with him so many campaigns. I know how hard he's working for our community. He has to. I want to see him in Queen's Park, so that's why I'm donating $300 for him. So good luck, Neethan.
Amazing. And folks, let's just open up to any amount right now because people are doing any amount. This is your last chance to give. Whoever wants to give any amount, be it $5, $500, or $3,000, this is your last call to donate. This has been a fantastic evening. I'm going to ask the administrator to get a grand total so we can hear it all together, but you've all been a part of it. Like I said, any final amount, we have Annie Wong, Annie. Someone unmute Annie. There we go. Oh. While she's getting unmute, there we go.
Yeah, I want to donate $10. I actually remember Neethan, like so I'm from Scarborough North, but he ran as like counselor in like Rouge River. So yeah. And yeah, I just want to see Doug Ford gone. I I became a member of the NDP last year, so I'm excited to be a Democrat. And if I can, I would volunteer.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Annie. This is so great. Over $50,000 fundraised today. Round of applause to anyone. If anyone else wants to jump in and give their amount, let us know. But we've had an amazing turnout. Now we just got to make sure that those pledges come in. And so Neethan has his funds to come in. Any final amounts? We're doing the fun. It's been an amazing evening, a lot of fundraising. I think I broke a sweat along the way. It's been a lot of numbers coming through, and I've really appreciated the love for Neethan. Going once, going twice, going thrice. We have had over $50,000 for Neethan. I feel like this has been probably one of the highest grossing for Scarborough Centre. Such a fantastic turnout. Thank you so much, everyone. And I know it's been a long evening, so we're going to quickly move forward and wrap this up. And what better way to move forward than to bring to the stage the amazing, the fantastic Dolly Begum, your MPP from Scarborough Southwest, my friend, someone who's such a someone who's done so much groundbreaking work in getting elected and her work. Dolly, please jump to the stage.
Thank you so much, Brother Gurthan Singh. Everybody give it up for Gurthan. He just did an amazing job fundraising over $50,000 for Neethan Shan. I am so honored to be here today. I know everyone has spoken. So as I looked at my note, I crossed off different things that people have said. So I'm at a point where it's pretty much everything is crossed off. But for Brother Neethan, it's okay. I will, even if I have to go last and just tell you guys one more time what an amazing candidate he is and the fact that he will show up for you, we will be there. And I am so incredibly proud and honored to be here and speak for Brother Neethan Shan. I've seen him, I've seen his work as a youth activist who stood up for human rights. And today what I have the privilege of doing is something that Annie actually hinted towards. As a young new Democrat who just donated, but also committed to volunteering. So everybody, so for those of you, and I'm seeing some of the faces on screen and some of them dropped off already, but many of you who have volunteered in political campaigns, who have volunteered with me in Scarborough Southwest, Neethan came out to volunteer for me. It's one of those important parts, just like the fundraising aspect of it. The importance of volunteering, knocking on doors, making phone calls, making sure that we have a really impactful, really resourceful campaign so that every single person in Scarborough Centre knows Neethan Shan, knows the commitment that he has to his community, and knows when and where they need to go out and vote. And for that to happen, we need your support. Now, I know all of you will be out there volunteering, but I want to ask for one small thing, which is, can you, each one of you here, find 5 more people that you can call up on to ask for them to come out and volunteer? 5 more people. And why is that important? And in some ways you can persuade them is, and I want to give you an example. When I was running, guess who showed up to Scarborough Southwest to knock on doors with me? Our very own leader of the NDP, Jagmeet Singh. So to those of you, and I heard Athini speak, I heard Annie speak, I heard many of you who have been community leaders, all of these people who have done amazing work, and the fact that amazing activists from across the province come out to support one another. This is one of the reasons why you can bring other people to come and volunteer. And you get to meet some passionate advocates, some passionate leaders who can guide and help the young generation become more politically involved. We know how important it is. We know how important it is for us to have that support. And I have, there's things I was going to talk about with the Muslim community. I was going to talk about how Neethan stood up for us at City Council. I think, Muhammad Shafi talked about how even in the time that he had in City Council, just imagine how action-packed it was, how much he got done. Now imagine what Neethan will do when he becomes MPP for Scarborough Centre and represents all of the people in Scarborough Centre as an MPP. Imagine the work that he'll do. And for that, we need you to come out and volunteer. I'm just going to keep it short because I know many of you spoke really well and spoke so honestly. It's not enough to, and we could say so much more about how humble, how modest he is, about his leadership skills. But I want to end with one small thing, which is Neethan not only represents his community, he not only stands up, but he creates bridges. He creates bridges with community leaders, with other organizations, and he creates bridges where he picks up other community activists, other young people to become leaders. And for that, I'm so incredibly proud of him, and I wish him all the very best. I will be out there volunteering. I know Grutan will. I know all the other MPPs that were on the call. I think Chris and Tom were there. Councillor De Beermaker was there, former Councillor De Beermaker, as well as Speaker of the House, David Warner. So there are so many people that you'll get to meet, and we can tell you all the things that you can do as you get involved. So thank you so much for supporting Neethan Shan. And I am so looking forward to having more MPPs from Scarborough Southwest, and who better than Neethan Shan. Thank you so much.
Dolly, you are an inspiration to us all. Thank you so much for joining us. And Dolly's she put that flag in the sand in Scarborough, and we got to grow from there. And Dolly's that beachhead is the word I'm looking for. Where she won with her riding. Now we can grow throughout Scarborough. So thank you so much, Dolly. Folks, it's been a long night. It's been an amazing night. I want to thank you all. All the links are in the chat right now for volunteering or for donating. So check those links out. Thank you so much. Make sure you all sign up, share with your friends and family. This was a fantastic evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Neethan. I don't know if you want to say something to wrap up the night. But otherwise than that, I'll pass it off to you if you want to say some final words, and then I will wish you all a beautiful evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gorat. And first of all, we were scheduled to finish at 7:30. You stayed 1 hour extra to help us with this. Thank you very much.
Anything for you, Neethan.
And also thank you, Dolly, as well, for staying through till the end. And I want to quickly shout out to former Councillor Glenn De Beermaker for being here. He's from Scarborough-Centre, and he represented Scarborough-Centre so well as a councillor. So it's glad to see you here. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say thank you. This outpouring of donations and your well wishes and your words were inspiring me to do more. I know this is not easy. Money is difficult nowadays with all the economic struggles and stuff people going through. And your donations mean, regardless of what the amount is, everything means that we will be more closer to getting this win. So thank you very much for putting your trust and your words and your money behind this campaign. I sincerely appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you all. Thank you, Grit, and I'll pass it back to you.
That's it, everyone. We're shutting it down. Much love, Vanakam. Good night.
Recording stop.